So, good afternoon, it's the 6th of March and basically I'm going to be embarking on the journey which I planned yesterday using ZapMap. So I'm going to be going to Guildford and Southampton, so Guildford for the weekend and Southampton on the Monday. Basically I've done all the planning using ZapMap and I've got the mobile app, so basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to set my waypoints, well, on ZapMap, and then basically it will automatically direct me to Waze. It should be fairly straightforward. I've planned the route out. My ETA is probably going to be about 8 or 9 PM, although as per the previous video, it's fairly obvious that I probably shouldn't say these things. But yeah, I am starting on pretty much a full charge. It's currently saying 131 miles to empty on normal, and then if I switch it into eco mode, it's now saying 144. 4 bars on the gauge. However, I have driven a couple miles, so obviously it will be a tiny bit less than 100%. I am not going to reset the main trip computer because I've been trying to see how much monthly mileage I've been doing, but I will reset the I'll reset obviously the current journey, and I'll record every single time I stop on the journey. Let's get started. So, I've just made it to the Wheatsheaf in Loughborough, 105.5 miles, average 50 miles an hour, not great, especially coming out of Hull, and a little bit of traffic on the M1, but nothing too drastic. It's taken me 2 hours and 5 minutes to actually do that. The vast majority of the motorway was at 70 miles an hour anyway, so nothing too major. 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour, so I think that shows kind of not piss poor weather conditions can really actually do with the car. You know, that's almost an indicator at about 130 miles from 100 to 0%. I arrived here on 16%. This charger at the Wheatsheaf's actually charging really well. I arrived here on 16%. It's been nearly 7 minutes and I'm already at 27%. So hopefully this part of the journey is not going to be too much of a problem. Pretty much the only thing that I can suggest, however, is if you do use these sort of chargers at places like Harvester and things, please make sure that you read the terms and conditions for the car park. So in this case, it basically says you have to enter your registration number at the reception desk, or you have to text your registration to a certain number. So the best thing to do is just do it. And obviously you're basically in the clear. So I'm just going to basically stay here for a little bit. I might have something to eat, possibly grab a coffee, and I'll get back on the road pretty soon. So I'm at 81%. I'm about to unplug. I think it's, just about to start throttling now. So I've currently got 117 miles. Bear in mind that is with, first of all, the heating on. And second of all, it's on normal mode, so I've only got to do 96 miles, which means I should be able to make it no problem. The reason why I say that is because obviously if you set it to eco mode, especially on the motorway, it's not as accurate as just leaving it in normal is. Not to mention as well, if you turn off the heating, so if I turn off the heating at the moment, it says 131. It's now going to dusk, so I probably want the heating on. I'm about to unplug and let's get on our way. I've arrived at the Grove Hotel. I'll tell you this, considering the country lane that I had to come down over the Union Canal, it is really, really nice in here, around here. The charger though is just sort of in the car park, which is quite nice. So basically I've done 95.2 miles, average 55 miles an hour. That's because of the roadworks on the M1 at the moment. Hour and 42 minutes and 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. That's quite good actually. I was kind of expecting somewhere around 3, so a bit more wouldn't hurt. And basically, yeah, I arrived on 13%. I'm charging away right now. I'm getting a really good charge rate. I think it's about 48 kilowatt. So 403 amps at 403 volts at 119 amps. So yeah, as I said before we started, I'm planning on charging up to 85% because I can't destination charge in Guildford. So yeah, pretty much what's going to happen is I'm going to charge up to about 85% to make sure that any sort of residual loss over the next couple of days is sort of mitigated, if any. And basically I'll definitely have enough to make it to Southampton as well, because I'm really not planning on doing any destination charging because it's a little bit expensive. They use new motion chargers at the university. But yeah, everything's gone pretty swimmingly. I'm probably just going to head to the toilet, just spend some time around here, I guess. You know, it's got a nice bar and restaurant. You can play golf around here, although it's a bit late for that. So yeah, next probably update will either be leave here or in Guildford. So yeah, everything's gone pretty swimmingly really. So I've just been to the toilet and I've just had a quick nap as well. I was kind of expecting it to stop, so that means I would just wake up and you can hear the click inside the car, for example. And I was kind of expecting it to just stop. However, somehow this charger hasn't stopped. In fact, actually, it's been about, well, as you can see, it's been 43 minutes and it's absolutely fine. That's amazing. I was you know, every single polar charger, including the one down at the Wheatsheaf, as well as others, every single sort of ultra charger like this, well, it's had this bug ever since I picked up the car. I've reported it to Polar and they seem to be either unaware of the problem or blaming the car. For obvious reasons, I know it's not the car. It's clear that it only seems to happen on these types of ultra chargers. So, but yeah, incredibly, it's managed to just keep going. I don't know whether Polar's fixed it, so if so, kudos to Polar, but I mean, this charger doesn't seem to be particularly that new. For example, it doesn't have contactless, so it just completely amazed me that it was working. Anyway, once it gets up to about 85%, I'll unplug and we'll be on our way. But yeah, amazing. So I've made it to Guildford. I've only done 43 miles from the previous charge at Grove Hotel. 3 miles per kilowatt hour, not great. Average speed 47 miles an hour, not great either. The A3 really did put a bit of a problem, an issue for that. They've got a bit of flooding. Apart from that though, I've made it. I'm going to pick up my stuff later. But for now, that's it for the car. I'm probably going to update you on the Monday when I go pick it up, but apart from that, everything's gone pretty swimmingly well. The next bit is going to be obviously to Southampton, so wish me luck for that one. So, good morning, it's the Monday after the weekend, and basically I'm heading down to Southampton. As per usual, I'm not doing any destination charging down there. Well, I'm not planning on doing any. So I left the car on 81 miles in eco. Now it's 58 miles. I've done a little bit of driving. I'm on the A3 at the moment. Well, on services on the A3. 37 miles to go. I think I'll be absolutely fine getting there. Bear in mind that I've got 3 out of the 8 bars, so that's probably around 40%. That should be pretty reasonable. I mean, it is, I think, dual carriageway for most of the way, but should be fine. Anyway, let's get started. So Matt Williams Garage, I arrived here on 7%. I've done a little bit of driving in Southampton, and I had to drop my friend off somewhere in Eastleigh. Apart from that, charging away, getting fairly good charge rate, 404 volt, 110, 111 amps, so that's pretty reasonable. And I'm just gonna wait here. My next leg is actually the second longest leg on this journey, apart from the initial 100 down to whatever state of charge. So it's 100 miles, but I do have a couple things on my side. I do have a nice tailwind apparently. I haven't checked the weather as of today, but it seems as though that first of all the rain's going to subside, and then also the weather's going to brighten up. So yeah, everything's going pretty swimmingly. Probably next update will be at the Northampton Holiday Inn, so all is well. So just a quick update, I arrived at the Northampton Polar Charger. I think it's actually with a harvester rather than a Holiday Inn. Different angle here, I think my camera batteries ran out, so that's brilliant. 102.7 miles, average 47 miles an hour, 2 hours 8 minutes. There was quite a bit of traffic past Oxfordshire, sort of in Didcot and that sort of area, and 3.3 miles per kilowatt hour. So that's pretty good actually, given that it's been raining quite a bit all the way, and in fact actually the tailwind that I was kind of expecting really didn't come about. Luckily though, the battery's quite warm now, so I'm actually getting a really good charge speed, 401 volt, 122 amps, so absolutely solid. Next update will probably be by the Treble Bob in Loughborough, so yeah. So just got back home, 65.1 miles, 52 miles an hour on average, hour and 14 minutes and 3 miles per kilowatt. I did have to reroute through Doncaster, but that wasn't such a problem. Unfortunately, it wasn't signposted. I had to use Waze for that. I think this goes to show that using things like ZapMap and using route planners like a Better Route Planner really do work nowadays, and especially with the infrastructure. The infrastructure is more than capable. Of course, you know, we are waiting for more charges. We are waiting for, you know, maybe additional contactless payment methods and things, but in the grand scheme of things, it is genuinely spot on now. You know, I've just done a 550, well, more like 600 mile journey now with almost no issues whatsoever. I think it also goes to show that, you know, I do trust in the Polar Plus network in order to actually get me to places. You know, they've got a live availability and they do have a nice membership system, which means I get discounted kilowatt hours, etc. And to be honest, it genuinely does work. You know, I've only used Polar Plus points and they all work. So anyway, be sure to subscribe and like and share the video, and talk to you later.